Welcome to today's Explainer. If you're feeling the heavy weight of modern burnout, you are definitely not alone. So many of us are desperately searching for an antidote to the endless hustle, the soul-crushing traffic, and just the sheer exhaustion of everyday city life. Well, today we're looking at a fascinating source that explores exactly that. It's a deep dive into the vision behind a place called Shekinah Heights in Belize. Now, this isn't just your standard real estate pitch. It's a blueprint for a complete lifestyle overhaul that is intensely focused on simplicity, community, and purpose.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to pause for a second and really ask yourself, what if life could be simpler? It's a question the founders of Shekinah Heights realized pretty much everyone eventually hits a wall with. We accumulate so much, right? Stuff, responsibilities, endless corporate emails, baseline stress, and at some point, you just have to wonder if stripping it all back could lead to something fundamentally better.
And it goes way, way deeper than just decluttering your calendar. The source material really hones in on the tragic loss of family connection. Think about it. In our modern hustle, parents are working incredibly long hours. Kids are endlessly overscheduled, and actual meaningful family time is literally squeezed into the tired margins of exhausted weekends. This vision asks us to imagine a totally different scenario, one where families can genuinely slow down, take a breath, and reconnect with one another on a daily basis, without constantly checking a ticking clock.
Imagine trading the concrete, the blaring sirens, and that constant digital pressure, where your most frequent interaction with nature is just a screensaver on your laptop, for actual, vibrant life. What if people could live surrounded by genuine nature, purpose, and peace? The contrast is staggering when you really sit and think about it. We're so used to stress and noise being the default background hum of our lives. But this source challenges that assumption entirely, suggesting that a life anchored in nature isn't just a fantasy, it's something you can actively build.
That brings us to Section 1, escaping the modern grind and leaving that stress behind.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. We're living through a massive lifestyle shift right now. Families, remote workers, retirees, they're all feeling completely overwhelmed by the constantly rising cost of living, the unforgiving pace of cities, and this growing disconnect from the people around them. But there's a clear alternative that Shekinah Heights is striving for. Just imagine the visceral relief of leaving gridlock traffic behind for a quiet dirt road, swapping a blaring alarm clock for the sound of native birds, and consciously choosing nature, purpose, peace, and community.
So, where do you go to actually find that peace? Let's look at Section 2, Why Choose Belize, and specifically the Sanctuary of Spanish Lookout.
The source details exactly why Belize kept standing out as the ultimate escape. You've got warm weather year-round, which instantly boosts your mood and gets you outdoors. You're completely surrounded by absolutely stunning landscapes. There's abundant access to fresh, local food. The locals are known for being incredibly warm and friendly, and above all, it offers a fundamentally slower pace of life. It's basically a natural, restorative environment for anyone who feels totally stressed out and depleted by the modern world.
But they didn't just pick a random spot on a map. They zoomed right in on Spanish Lookout. This area is pretty incredible. The text describes it as one of the safest and most productive regions in the entire country. It's surrounded by vast farmland, beautiful rolling hills, and crucially, really strong community values. It serves as this perfect, secure foundation for a new life, proving that you absolutely don't have to sacrifice safety or productivity just to escape the chaos of the city.
Moving right along to Section 3, Roots and Family, focusing on homesteading and wellness.
What's genuinely fascinating here is the sheer variety of lifestyle opportunities. It's not just about, sitting back in a hammock. The vision is deeply rooted in homesteading. We're talking about getting your hands in the dirt, growing your own fresh food, and reclaiming a profound sense of self-reliance. It's about raising families in a peaceful setting where kids can actually go outside, run, and explore safely, which is a simple joy a lot of city dwellers have completely lost. It creates room to breathe, leaving space for wellness, creativity, and even entrepreneurship.
I absolutely love this quote from the text because it hits the nail on the head regarding the emotional core of this whole endeavor. In today's world, isolation is a quiet epidemic. Even in packed cities, we often feel totally disconnected. The entire goal here is to help people rediscover a true sense of belonging. Imagine actually knowing your neighbors again, sharing meals, having safe spaces for your kids to roam, and literally building meaningful lives together. It's a real game changer.
So, how is this all taking physical shape? That leads us to Section 4, Building Intentionally, and looking at the future of Shekinah Heights.
The crucial point here is that affordable living should still be beautiful and highly functional. They aren't just dropping cookie-cutter suburban houses into the jungle. Instead, they're offering movable and expandable home options, like these beautifully designed capsule homes. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a flexible living ecosystem. The housing can grow right alongside a family, or provide a super accessible entry point for a fresh start. Plus, it seamlessly opens up income opportunities. Whether you want an Airbnb investment, a Snowbird setup, or you're just bringing your remote work with you.
And the physical design of the wider community reflects those exact values we've been talking about. They're carefully designing spaces to take full advantage of the panoramic views, sure, but more importantly, they are prioritizing gathering spaces and future community amenities. They're weaving in wellness-focused ideas, which serves as the ultimate physical antidote to that soul-crushing modern burnout we talked about at the start. Every single part of the design is meant to foster community, get people outdoors, and organically bring neighbors together.
Because ultimately, the source notes that meaningful communities aren't built overnight. It's a journey, built step by step. But the hope is that when people arrive at Shekinah Heights, they are hit with a very specific, undeniable feeling. And that feeling is summarized perfectly right here: peace, possibility, community, and hope for a different kind of future. It's all about creating a profound, peaceful landing pad for everyone fleeing the high-stress grind.
Which leaves us with this final thought. The source we've unpacked today is essentially an open invitation to those who have always dreamed of living differently. So I'm going to pass that invitation directly on to you. If you could simplify your life tomorrow, leave the relentless stress behind, and build something deeply intentional, would you take the leap? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning what your ideal peaceful life really looks like.